ways that we of the records while fetching the data, correct? Using where condition and right. So we discussed about a few functions like concatenation and so anyway, going forward, we are going to see more functions. Okay. I just want to finish that one thing from the selection criteria, right? So far we see how to fetch data from a table and how to limit the number of columns while fetching the data from a database table. I also see how to limit the number of rows. Okay, two things we did: limit number of columns and limit the number of rows. Right? How to limit the number of columns? Or instead of star, you can write down your what are the columns that you want to see in your output. You can instead of going with the default star after the select, okay, go and specify the column names which you want to see in your output. Okay, that is how we can limit the number of columns from the default fetching. And come back to the rows, to filter the rows or to out a few rows which we don't want to see in your output. So we have the condition called a class conditional called where. So in the where condition class, we can filter the records, right? So far it is clear till that point, right?
Yeah.
Also we see operators and or operators, right? And we prepared on Excel sheet and how it gonna output, like if both the conditions are true, it's gonna be true only for AND, right? For OR condition, both the conditions, both the elements are going to be false, then only gonna be false. That are all the times it's gonna be true. So that is case. So here, this is my employee table. Let's have a look at the employee table first. Okay. If you see here, I have the ID 100, 101, and the department is 90, 90, and the salary is 24,000 and 70,000. I'm writing a where condition saying that where department ID in 90 and 60. Okay, take till that point that condition, that is department ID. So what to be displayed? Okay, the first select statement, select star from employee. So without where conditions, it will go and fetch all the records from the employee table. Right? You add the where department ID is 90, 60. That means you're trying to limit the area from the select statement. That is, you don't want to see or you don't want to fetch all the records from the employee table. Instead, you want to see only the records or only the details of the employee who the department 60 and 90. Right? That is what it will do. See?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just adding one more condition, that is salary is greater than 5,000. Okay. So department ID is 90, 60. Okay. From statement, let's assume one by one. Take first part, that is select star from employee. So in my employee table, I have 100 records. Okay. When I try to execute the select star from employees, it will go and display 100 records, right? When I have where condition, that is department number, department ID in 90 and 60, it will limit the records, and let's say I have 5 records in department number 60, another 5 records in the department 90. Ultimately, I am going to see only 10 records in my output. Okay. When I add another condition, that is salary greater than 5,000. So I am using the operator OR here. Okay. So what will be the output here? So two conditions we have. One is the department number 90 and 60. That is one condition. Other side, another condition is called salary is greater than 5,000, and we have OR operator here. So what is the function type OR? Gonna be true, and when it's gonna be false. So both true. Okay. If particular record which is satisfies both the condition, that is, let's take the first record, employee ID 100, we'll go see what is the department ID of that particular employee. Department ID equals 90, yes, which is satisfies the first part of the condition. And then the second part of the condition is that salary is greater than 5,000. And again, if you see here, salary is 24,000 for the employee ID 100. that it is satisfying both the conditions. Correct? As part the functionality of R, either of the condition is true, then it will be true for statement. Correct? If records which satisfies the first part of the condition, that is department ID in 1960, even though salary is not greater than 5,000, it will fetch from database and it will display in an output. Why? Because the operator that you are using in between the two conditions is or. The function of or is only the condition will be false when both the conditions are false. Either the condition is not met your criteria, then it will be false and it is not going to be displayed in our output. Else either of the condition. Okay, two things we need to understand when we talk about AND or OR operator. When we go with the OR operator, what will happen is either the condition, anyone, either the first condition part or second condition part. Okay, we should have conditional part whenever you go and deal with the OR AND operator. Okay. Here you see the OR operator, we have two conditions. One is the department ID side validation and another one is the salary side validation. So if salary is greater than 5,000, yes, the AND statement will become true. Even though that particular salary is 6,000 and belongs to the department 110. So whenever either of the condition is true, it will go and display the output of that particular record. Okay, they execute till greater than 5,000. If you see here, in condition we mentioned that a department ID in 1960, and in our output we can see that record which is belongs to the department number 100. How it comes into your output area? Because you strictly mentioned that a department ID should be in 60 and 90. Okay, so till this part, yes, if you take the record that employee which is not satisfying this condition, but when you go to the second part of the condition that you are using in your search criteria, salary greater than 5,000, if you go and see here, the salary is 12,000. Okay, so it's true. As per the OR functionality, either function is true, either condition is validated, either of the condition become true, then entire transfer will become true. So as per that particular functionality, this fetched into your output because the part of your condition.
Yeah.
Okay. Now again we are going to add one more condition, that is manager ID is not null. Okay. I don't want to see the records which are having the manager ID is null in my output. Okay. And here this time we are going to use the operator called AND. Okay. When I try to execute select statement with the multiple conditions, if you see here, the first record itself is the manager ID is null. Okay. But we are mentioning that we want to see the record having the manager ID is null. Okay. And we mentioned that manager ID is not null. So how come it becomes in our output? The same condition is that I'll try to add condition. Okay, forget about AND condition. When you try to see here, we have two part in between. We have the OR operator. Okay, so if it is the operator, then we have this is the condition part 1 and this one is the condition part 2. Okay, the moment when you add another condition, that is AND, we have 3 parts. This is one part. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be the second part and this is gonna be the third part.
Yeah.
But we try to see the same select statement in the view of the database. At a time, any database or any select statement in any database, it can execute across 2 conditional statements. Okay, and it can able to execute only 2 conditions. Okay, so the reason as last class we see the precedings, right, which take the priority and all, right. There are no operators short. You still remember last PPT we discussed in our last session? We have AND OR now not in all these operators, and there is some preceding kind of thing. Okay, so you see here we have or and operator. So okay, which one will become the two parts, right? So we have three conditions to be executed, and out of three conditions, which will become the pair first. As discussed from select statement in any database, it can execute at a time. It evaluate only two conditions at one condition, and with compatible with another condition, it can execute at a time. So if you see here, out of three conditions, either two needs to be paired, and the output coming from that particular set of conditions will again evaluate along with another condition, and it will give the output. Okay, let's take that. I'm just putting the brackets for our understanding, and this one. Okay, I'm assuming that these two should pair first on top of this output. Whatever the output that is coming based on these two conditions, it outputs entire itself. Okay, it takes result of this particular where condition as another one single condition, and we have the AND operator, and it is the second condition. So when you say two need to be filtered out, one is first will execute this part, it will get the records, and again from this will set it need to be paired with another where condition and executes it with condition using the AND operator, and it will set data. Okay, let's assume these two are paired first. Okay, so select statement is try to execute this where condition first. That is department ID 90 and 60 or salary equal to 5,000. So according to this one, this department ID belongs to 90. So it becomes true, right? So the R condition, that means this record got for this part. Okay? You understand, Shruti?
Yeah.
Okay? Whenever you have, something you didn't understand, just write problem. Okay? So let's assume that select statement will try to execute these two department ID condition and the salary condition, and to the R operator functionality, the first record, that is employee ID equal to 100, got fetched because it belongs to the department number 90. That is true. Okay, first part is true, and again salary is greater than 5,000. We are expecting the record which is having the salary greater than 5,000, and if you see here we have the salary 24,000. So again it's true. So true or true. So that becomes this record got fetched this part. Okay. Now, okay, employee ID is ready. 100 is ready. To check the another condition, that is main ID is not null. Okay. And we are having the operator AND. So you see here, it will go on top of the result. That is the department. To salary ID 100. On top of this record, it will again go on search for manager ID, whether it is null or not null. You go and see here. If you see manager ID is and bring the AND operator. So what the functionality of AND operator will do? One operator will do the condition. Okay, if the condition is false, the total transaction will become the false. The only true evidence, whenever so you need to make sure that whenever you are dealing with the R and operators, you need to understand the functionality first. Okay. Let's talk about AND operator. AND operator will become true only when both the conditions are true.
Manager ID null is here.
Yes. So that means our assumption is wrong. So statement is not taking these two as the pair first time. Correct? Let's assume. Okay. Yes, that is the part that we need to understand from here. Let us assume first time that these two will be paired, and we see that as per functionality we'll evaluate and we'll see if that our previous approach, that is the department ID and the salary together will be evaluated first, then the 100 should not be comes in output, right? So that approach is wrong. Let's assume that, okay, let's see if these two will be paired, then what will happen? Okay, so selection will go and execute this first. Okay, it got paid first, right? So here we have the salary is greater than 5,000, and you go to the salary part and see here salary is 24,000. 7,000. So it is true, right? We have the operator called and. If you can see the manager ID is not null. No, manager ID is null. So ultimately, what will be the output from this where condition? Are false. Salary part is true and manager ID part is false. So true and false, it will become false. True and true, then only it will be true, right? Else, remaining scenarios, it's gonna be false. So from this part, that employee ID 100 will not come into your output. That is for sure. You got it right? Okay, this select statement will go and execute like this. So ID 100 will not be fetched from this part. Okay, now come and check whether another condition, that is department ID in 90 and 60. Okay, go and see that employee 100 is 90. Is true or false? Right? And we have the R operator. So what it will become? So let me explain you. This is true part, and then here we have the true and false part. Okay. Final evaluation. So true and false. Because of the operator, it will again it completely becomes the false. Okay. True or false. So what is output? Either a statement is true, then final output will be true. Right? Or either of the functions, either of the condition is true, then the total output will become true. Ashruti? How the statement is going to pair the conditions is that this way. Even though if you mention something like within brackets, so priority will become, the priority will go to the brackets. Then it will go and evaluate the non-items. Okay, that is the fundamental rule of a database select statement. Okay, even though you didn't mention or you didn't provide something within the brackets. Okay, ideally you can provide the all. You keep on go on adding the conditions like this. Though internally rewrite the select statement in such a way that it will like that it should be prior will go to the R operator. Okay, what are the conditions that are before R and after the R? That together the sub functions. Okay, this what are the conditions that are after R? Interesting will become the one. Okay, so that will become the one part. All the conditions that you are written after the R operator is to become to be a together become a one set, and it need to be executed independently. Okay, and before R, what are the operator is there? What are the conditions are there? That another unit. So this is only the select statement will be executed. Clear? Basic you need to understand from this example is that whenever you see the R operator or R operator, so the operator first. Okay, basically the while executing the select statement, it will take R as the value from there before the R and after the R. These are two parts always. Okay. Any questions here? Hope it is right. So the priority and before the R operator and after the R operator. Okay. So please make sure that you understand this part. Okay. In real time you are going to see most and operator, multiple and operator in our select statement. Especially we are working with the data warehousing environment and which we need to load the data for the reporting purpose, right? So where you can see most of these select statement like this, which having the more operators like in and are. Okay. So now the action internally. Okay. whenever the R and again R and R, so it will take the priority, go to R, where you can see the R operator, it will go to the R operator and divide the where condition is saying that before the R is 1 unit and after the R is 1 unit. Let's say you have another operator like this, and we have R operator like job equal to ID. What to happen? So how? Can you tell me? So which one will go fast evaluation? Which one will go last evaluation?
Okay. So here,
We have
since
two R
AND
operators
has
and one and
more systems. First, salary greater than 5,000 and manager ID is not null is evaluated.
Okay.
This is,
You were trying to say, right?
yeah.
Okay.
And
Again, we have 3, right?
Taken as a single part. Depart in 90,60 will be taken as one condition. This will have both true and false, true and false cases. And job
Second pair would be like this.
AD and underscore VP also will have true and false. We have
I understand this part actually.
3 conditions with or.
So as I said, at a time 2 conditions can be evaluated. So out of we need to make sure that either of the 2 you need to take and you need to execute that, and put again
Even if
check
we
with the
have
another one
both
remaining.
or
So that is how we need to execute. It does or and it doesn't matter. So at a time it can hello.
Okay. Yes.
Right. So either and at a time it can execute only 2 parts.
If that's the
So
case, then
I understand this part.
Department ID underscore 9060.
So these 2 will pay, right?
This part is evaluated. And
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Of that, it is going to be update.
And
Go ahead.
it will be taken as a single, and it will be that
Okay.
job ID will be evaluated. Yeah.
Okay. So let's execute it and we'll see. Okay. Let's try to execute it and see the output. So you go in the same scenario. Okay, let's execute these 2 first. Okay, let salary is greater than 5,000 and manager ID is not. So these are the first part, right? Salary is 5,000. Yes. Take the first employee ID 100. This record. 24,000. Yeah, this part is true. The department ID is not null, but his manager ID is null, so that this become the false. True and false, it is completely become the false. Okay.
False.
So you want to add with star condition, right?
90 true.
9060. If you go to the department ID 90, so this is true, and we're using the R. That means one side is true. Then in this entire will become the true. So we fetched employee ID 100 into the place. Okay. I need to join with underscore VP. Correct. We got employee ID 100. Correct. And yeah, so that means we got employee ID 100 into the output. And now we need to join with another R condition, that is job ID equal ADVP. It's got to true, right? because of the department ID 9060, it got a true, and it is true, and we got it in output. Though because our condition, one side is true, then entire string will become true. So we got employee 100 into the picture. Okay. This is how you need to evaluate. Okay. Whenever you see any select statement, so this is how you need to evaluate, and this is how you can understand. Okay, how the criteria will become. Okay. So what is the actual business? Business in the sense, if you see here, every time you need to understand that when you see the select statement, this is when I say this is my business case. So how you can evaluate this business case is, so the I should belongs to either department ID 90 or 60, or the employee should have salaries greater than 5,000. Okay, or the employee will have ADVP. Okay, job ID is ADVP and salary is greater than 5,000. Belongs to the department 90 or 60, then employee is eligible to. Okay, so this you need to select statement. And till now we see how to filter the records, how to filter the rows. Okay, now I want to see the data. Till now we are fair enough to see how to fetch the data and all. Okay, we are going to fetch the data. Fetch the data. Now I see data, that is I will see how best I can display the data. Okay, two things we need to understand that. So data is one part and displaying the data is another part. Okay, whenever you execute a select statement, internally there will be two important parts, two important tasks to be done. One is executing the select statement on top of your database table and fill the data. That is become the first task. Fetching the data from database table, how best you are going to display. This will be the another important task in our real-time executions. Okay? So that is where the reporting people are in market. Okay? So what reporting people will do is how best and how beautifully they can display the data on top of a in terms of a report or dashboard, reports or dashboard kind of thing. What they do is the beautification of a output. Okay, nothing than that. Going to get the data somewhere else from the scanner, right? So going to get data from the database table only. How we are going to get in our ETL process? Okay, we are going to fetch the same data from the same table in the data stage. But the one is that beautification of the output, the presence of the output is a matter here. Okay, so that is where the reporting layer is different. The process is different. Our real process task is mainly to fetch the data, and to load the data in somewhere into the database table. But the reporting people in the market is that they fetch the data from the database table and they need to display to. Okay, so that is the in the market. So it means, so how we're going to order data. Okay, I want to see in a specific order. Okay, in the employee table, if you see here, if you first department 90 records is there, and then 60, and then again go down again 50, 80, it is not in a specific order, right? So when somebody asks you to generate a report, I want to see the report on employee table. So when you try to execute this section from the employee, and if you try to give this output to the user, what happen? So by seeing data, how data entered into a database table, when you try to execute, it will display in the same order. Okay, so there are few things that we need to do while displaying the data, so that at least we should go in on a specific order. Okay, right? Basic thing, right? So how we are going to, so this time we are not going to see the different kind of beautiness of the select statement and all. Okay, because it is a SQL application, so we cannot see the dashboards, reports and all here. But what we can see is that at the back end side, we are still, even though we are unable to generate the reports and dashboards here, but we can arrange our data how we want to see. Okay, so I have to see my report and I want to see my employee data in a specific order by the department ID. I don't want to see 90, 60, and then 100, and then 80, and then 40, 50. Okay, I want to see in a specific order. Okay, so if you see here, when you try to execute the select statement and you got the output like the department and then 40 and then 50. Once we are done with the department number 50 records, and the next one should be the department 60. Right? So now the record in specific, right? When we compare with the department ID, class called order by class. Okay, are used to display data. Okay, so order by is nothing to do with the fetching and all. Okay, after fetching the data from the database to the SQL area, SQL engine, while displaying the data from the SQL engine to the end user, that is your, okay, in front of your eyes in your machine, it needs to be display the data, right? Whenever you execute a select statement, what will happen? It will go and connect to a server, and the database server will request SQL saying that go and get the data for this employee table statement. Okay, it will go and fetch the data from the database table, and SQL engine will again back to the we need to display back to the end user, right? So data we can specify the specific order. If you want to see your data in a specific order, so we have the order by class table. Order by class in the select statement, either department ID or employee, whatever the columns. What you need to do is, after the order by class, you need to mention in which order you want to see the data display. Okay, we have two kind of ordering, right? One is the ascending order, another one is the descending order, right? So we have two kind of ordering status. One is the ascending order, either ascending or descending. Here also the same approach. We have only two ordering. One is the ascending order, another one is the descending order. So by default, it is in ascending order, right? So if you see descending order, you just need to mention first three letters. That is ASC. When you say ASC means ascending order. Okay. This order only 10, 40, 50. The same one, right? Even though you didn't mention the ascending order specific, you don't need to mention the ASC ascending order. Okay. By default, Oracle will display in the ascending order. So if you don't want to go with the ascending order, you want to see in the descending order. What you need to do is you just mention that descending order DESC. Okay. So you can do any number of columns in order by class. Okay. You don't first you want to see the data should be ordered by department ID, and then you want to order based on the salary. Okay. And here, the first is, if you take this example, so we have cuts in the department 100, right? These 5 records belongs to department 100. If you see the here, is there any specific on the salary? No, right? So I want to see the order saying that department ID and then salary descending. When you see more than one column in your order by class, what SQL will do is that it will go and first sort the data based on the first column of your order by. Okay, whenever there is more than one record, there is a more than one record belongs to the same department ID, then we'll take a priority to the salary again. Okay, there is a more than record for the first column. When we try to order the data based on the department ID, if you see we have more than one column, one record belongs to the department ID 10. So the second level ascending will be happen. The second level of on should be happen based on the you provided in your order by class. Now it is in specific order. Still, is there any specific order or not? Order? Yep.
Not in order.
Wait. 8,796,558,4.
Because it is, if there are two columns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
It will try to, it will try to order based on the department ID. Okay, whenever it sees more than record belongs to the same department ID, so I got confused, right? And what is which record will go first and which record will go second? Because both the records are in the department ID 50, then it will jump to the next column, provided that is salary. I'll go and see. Let's consider the first records. Okay, the department ID 5050 and the salary is 8,200 and 8,000, and you mentioned that salary should be in the descending order. Okay, with respect to the department, nothing to do here, right? Because both are same, equal, so we cannot decide, right? Which record will go first and which record will go second. We cannot decide with respect to the department ID itself. And try to the salary, and based on the salary, it will mention salary descending order. It will try to salaries of the first two records, okay, and it will arrange in the descending order. So that's the reason we got 121 employee. 121 is the first, and then again 120 is the second. Okay, so this is how it will go on order. Take the third record, that is 122. It will check least value compared to the first two values, 8,200 and 8,000. It will check with the 8,000 and 7,900. If third record, let's assume that instead of 7,900, we get 1,900. What will happen? Okay, forget about the output that you are saying.
Okay.
So let's assume that selection, it go to the database table and it got fetched to the employee ID 121 as the first record.
Okay.
So start into the buffer, and then second record coming, that is employee ID 120, department ID 50, but let us assume that salary is 9,000 instead of 8,000. Okay, previous record, the first record came into the picture. As per the order, we have one record, so that will become the first record, right, to display. When the second record came into the picture, we need to compare which record need to go first and which record need to go second, correct?
Yeah.
So again, let us assume that for the employee ID 120, we got the salary with 1,000. The previous record, the first record we have in the buffer is 8,200. It compare 8,200 and 9,000. Okay?
And 9,000 comes first and 8,200 comes
8,200.
below.
Yes, let us assume third record is 7,900. Okay, we records. Okay, third record is 7,900. So out of, no, how it is going to check? We have two records already in the buffer, right?
Yeah. Actually, it need not compare with all the records because they are already in decreasing order. It can just be compared with last record.
Exactly. So the order you mentioned, okay, you mentioned in the descending, right? You say salary is descending means you take the lowest value. Okay, as of now, when we compare to the 8,200 and let's say 8,000, 8,000 is the lowest value. So the next record should compare with this 8,000. Okay, 1,900 is the third record, and the value we have out of two records, we have the least value is 8,000. So it will compare 7,900 and 8,000. So after that, 8,900 will become the third record. Okay, fourth record is coming like 10,000. What? Fourth record coming to salary equal 10,000, and it belongs to the department 750. Okay, so we have 10,000.
It went with the third record, and since it is highest, it gets compared with second and then with first. So since it is greater than all three, it comes in the first place.
Yes, this end mechanism will happen internally. Okay, before you got output in front of your eyes, it is entire process. Whatever we discussed till now, the entire process will be taken by the SQL engine. Okay, so that is the function of order by class. At a time, it can keep one record in a buffer, and it will class check, and based on that, it will arrange the specific order.
Yeah.
Let's have another example. Select employee ID, first name, and we are using the one concatenate operator here. Okay. Operator. Again, I am using another concatenate function. So first, what it will be is the concatenate will execute first, and it will concatenate space to the last name, and the result will go and concatenate with the okay. This is entirely become the full name as a what we call full name as
Last name.
alias of a column, and salary and department ID. And if you see here, okay, what is the full name? That is alias name. So I am the full name, that is alias name in my okay.
Yeah.
Alias, right, in order by class. The thing what I am trying to do is here ID as same first name and last name. This is the full name, and the salary is here, and the department ID. Department ID is my original table, and I have to DPT ID as the alias. Okay, I am to use the alias name in my order by class. It got executed, right? So I will check whether can we use the alias name in our where condition as well. How we are in the order by class. Okay. So this I am using the alias name in my where condition. Okay. See, delayed identify. Okay. So the only good thing with the order by class is that we can make use of the alias, but make use of the alias in the select statement, in the same level of select statement, in the same, I mean to say, when I say the same level means in the same execution, you cannot use the alias name all the time. Okay. Only order by class we can use the alias name. How? We can able to use in the order by class, and we cannot able to use in the where condition. Can you tell me? Okay, I want you to answer a few questions like what is the where condition? Okay, exactly the where condition came into the picture while fetching or displaying. So, which operation will take first, fetch operation or display operation? Fetch first. Okay, when we try to fetch, okay, alias name will came into the picture only when you try to display. Okay, you have to change the table column name in a table, right? When you say alias name means you are using alias name, fetching the data. It is completely into yours, and it is in your control. Whatever the output, whatever the column name that you want to give to your output, it's up to you. You have the full control. But fetching the data, where you are going to fetch the data, you want to fetch the data from a database table, and now I change the column name while fetching the data in a database table. Correct? What data is? You just fetch from the table. That's all. Correct? You can't modify the table structure all the time. Whenever you try to fetch, you cannot go. I mean, you can go and change structure. Like instead of department ID, you can. I mean, while fetching, you cannot go and update the department ID column itself as DPT ID in your original table. Correct? So names are used only when after data only that alias names came into the picture. In that data, I mean, once you fetch the data and before the display data, in between, it is to you, because once you fetch the data, the complete control, data control will become you. You will be the owner of that fetched data. So how you want to display the front end, that is up to you. Okay. So being the one of the set, what alias names that you want to use, you can make use of it. It makes sense why we can't use in the where condition and where how the say how we in the order by class, because order by class and where condition are came into the single select statement, though we can use in the where condition that ls name. Why? Because so condition will be executed while fetching the data. So that is where you cannot use the ls name, because that will when I try to call a table with the department ID, so that is what it is saying here, right? Invalid identifier means when you try to say salary ID, first name, I mean to say salary and department ID, employee table, DEPT ID equals 90. We don't have the column DEPT ID in that employee table, correct? We have the department underscore ID is the column name. So SQL is able to identify that column. So that is what it is giving here. DEPT ID is invalid identifier. That means there is no column called DEPT ID in your database table, but trying to say go fetch the data and filter the data based on the department ID. Because I don't have the department ID, DEPT ID, I can't execute the select statement. Okay, please confirm whether you are using the correct column name or not. That is the meaning of this one, invalid identifier. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
So you can spend another 15 to 20 minutes. Maybe we can go with another slides. You want to wind up and you want to continue the next session, that is also fine. So I want to go. Continue or you want to go in the next session?
For me, I think this is enough for today.
You will see, no problem. You are going to available on weekend, right?
I'm available.
Yeah, let's make sure that all are available in this weekend so that we can cover. Okay, last two sessions, right? So I'm going to cover those two sessions in the weekend.
Yeah.
Shruti. Yeah, see you tomorrow then.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.